Welcome back to Ria Talks English. You know, it actually happened again just the other day. I was at this little independent cafe downtown.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm standing at the counter and I completely blanked. Like total paralysis. The barista's looking at me, there's a line forming, and I could not decide between their pour-over coffee or the iced matcha.
Oh, the pressure of a coffee shop line is real.
Right. So naturally, I just smile, give a little shrug, and said, either is fine.
It's the ultimate linguistic escape hatch, isn't it? I mean, it completely removes the cognitive burden of making a choice.
Exactly. You just transfer all that responsibility right over to the barista.
Right, and they just make the decision for you.
Yeah, they smiled, handed me the matcha, and crisis averted. But sitting there, drinking my tea, it really got me thinking about that specific word, either. Mm-hmm. And of course, its inseparable, slightly more imposing counterpart, which is neither. So today on the deep dive, we are unpacking the hidden mechanics behind these two words.
Which is such a fascinating topic. Because on the surface, these seem like, incredibly basic structural tools of English.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because our mission today is really a helpful peer review for you, our intermediate learners out there. We want to master the words either and neither.
Yeah, because while these are technically A1, A2 level grammar rules, they are notorious for tripping up even highly advanced English speakers.
Oh, totally.
It's just a massive point of confusion. Learners constantly mix them up because they look and sound so similar.
Right. So before we get into the weeds, I want to ask you, the listener, right now, do you know the difference between either and neither, or do they still feel confusing?
Be honest.
Yeah, tell us in the comments. We genuinely read every single one. And while you're down there, make sure to hit like and subscribe to Ria Talks English.
Absolutely. So logically, let's dissect the slightly more versatile word first. Let's start with either.
That makes sense. We're starting with the first big use, which is negative agreement.
Right. Think of either as a way to agree with a negative premise. Mechanically, it just means also not.
Okay, give me an example of how that plays out in real life.
So let's say a friend says to you, I don't like spicy food, and you feel the exact same way. You are agreeing, but it's a negative statement. So your response is, I don't like spicy food either.
Okay, wait, let me push back for a second. If a learner says, I don't like it too, is that a red flag? Because too means also, right?
Oh, it is a huge red flag. Yeah, that's a classic trap. Positive sentences use too, like, I like it too. But negative sentences absolutely demand either.
Wow, okay.
And notice the mechanics there. Where does the word sit in a sentence?
Right at the end, always at the finish line.
Exactly. It strictly belongs at the very end of a negative sentence. You use your don't, didn't, isn't, and you cap it off with either.
So that's negative agreement. But either also has this whole other life when it comes to choices, like the classic either, or structure.
Yeah, that's the second major use. Choosing one of two options. Like we can have either a pizza or a burger. You're presenting two options, but you only get to pick one.
Which brings me right back to my cafe story, the third use. Casual acceptance.
Right, the either's fine response.
Exactly. When they offered me tea or coffee, saying either is fine just means both options are perfectly acceptable to me.
It signals flexibility, low stakes.
I love that. All right, listener, it is your turn. Think of something you don't like. Write it using either in the comments right now, like, I don't like waking up early either.
And try saying it out loud for real practice.
Yes, definitely speak it out loud. Okay, so having mastered that end of sentence agreement, the conversation flips. We're moving to the beginning of the sentence.
Right, you are.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the stronger, more confident cousin of either, neither.
Oh, yeah. If either leaves the door open, neither just bolted shut. It means the same thing as negative agreement, but it sits right at the front of the sentence.
Let's break down the mechanics of that, because it's a pretty strict formula, right?
Very strict. It's neither plus your auxiliary verb plus the subject. So neither do I, or neither can she.
Wait, hold on. Neither, then the verb, then the subject.
I know, it feels backward.
Yeah, because standard English goes subject, then verb, like I do, not do I.
Right, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, this is where the trap lies. So many people say, neither I do.
Oh, I hear that all the time.
Yeah, it's super common. My advice, think of it like forming a mini question in your head. Like, do I? And then just stick neither right in front of it. Neither do I.
That is such a good mental shortcut. Build the mini question, slap neither on the front. So that's agreement. What about the double rejection?
The neither nor structure.
Yeah.
This is the total rejection of two options.
Like neither tea nor coffee. Both are a 0.
Exactly. You're completely shutting down the parameters of the choice.
Now, real quick, before we move on, we have to address the pronunciation.
Oh, the great debate.
Yes. Is it neither or NY ether? Are we all just making it up?
Honestly, kind of.
Yeah.
Both are completely correct. In American English, neither is more common, and British English leans heavily toward NY ether.
So there's no right or wrong.
Nope. The key is just picking one and speaking it with confidence. There's zero difference in meaning.
Amazing. All right, listener, drop a comment right now using neither, like neither of us was ready, or neither do I. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to Ria Talks English while you're at it.
Good practice.
So to truly understand the difference between these two, I think we need to put them side by side in the ring, right? Let's see how they interact in a real conversation.
Let's do it. So contrast, negative agreement. Option 1, I don't like Monday mornings either. Option 2, neither do I.
They mean the exact same thing.
They do, but either at the end is generally easier for beginners to process on the fly. Neither do I sounds much more fluent and advanced because of that inverted word order.
Let's role play a mini scenario. We're planning a weekend trip, beach or mountains.
Either sounds great.
But I'm not really a beach person.
Neither am I.
See how natural that was?
Yeah, it flows perfectly. You used either to accept the initial choices,
Yeah.
and then neither to lock in the negative agreement.
It's seamless. Okay, what about the classic conversational responses? Me too versus me neither.
Right, this is a huge one. Me too is strictly for positive agreement. I love this song. Me too.
But if it's negative...
Use me neither. If someone says, I don't like this song, you say, me neither.
But wait, I hear Americans say me either all the time. Is that wrong?
Well, it's highly informal. It's an American variant that you'll hear a lot in casual speech. But me neither is the standard bulletproof version you want to rely on.
Good to know. Okay, listener, here is a thinking exercise for you. If someone says, I'm not sure about this decision, how do you respond? Pause the audio and say, neither am I, out loud.
Say it to the room.
Exactly. Now write 2 sentences in the comments about the same topic, one using either and one using neither. And don't forget to subscribe.
I love seeing those practice sentences.
It's the best way to learn. Now, knowing the rules is only half the battle. Let's peer review the traps. Avoiding the common mistakes is where the real learning happens.
Oh, definitely. Let's get into the pitfalls. Mistake number 1 is using to after a negative sentence.
Which we touched on, right? Like saying, I don't like it too.
Yeah. And it happens because many native languages use the exact same word for positive and negative agreement. But English refuses to do that.
English has to be difficult.
It really does. Mistake number 2 is the dreaded double negative.
Oh, like, I don't want neither.
Exactly. Neither already says no.
Right. I always think of it like an analogy. Adding don't to neither is like saying no twice simultaneously. They just crash into each other.
That's exactly it. You have to pick one. You either say, I don't want either, relying on don't for the negative, or you say, I want neither, letting neither do all the heavy lifting.
So no double negatives. What's mistake number 3?
Wrong word order. The neither I do trap we talked about earlier. Don't forget the mini question.
Neither do I.
Right.
And mistake number 4.
Using either to reject both options. If someone asks if June or July works, and you say either month works, when you actually mean you want September.
Oh, that's a disaster.
Yeah. Either authorizes the choice. If you want to reject both, it must be neither.
All right, let's do a rapid-fire correction round. Wrong versus correct.
I'm ready.
Wrong. Neither I am ready.
Correct. Neither am I ready.
Wrong. I didn't win either.
Correct. I didn't go either.
Listen, if you've made these mistakes, do not stress. Making mistakes is literal proof that you are trying.
Absolutely.
So, which of these mistakes have you made? Confess in the comments below. We are all learning here on Ria Talks English.
No judgment in the comment section, I promise.
Okay, so what does this all mean? It means it is your turn. Time for some interactive practice.
Let's put the theory into real-world scenarios.
Okay, scenario 1. Agreeing with the statement, I'm not hungry. Option A, I'm not hungry either. Option B, I'm not hungry too.
Well, it's a negative statement, so 2 is out. The correct choice is option A. I'm not hungry either.
Perfect. Scenario 2. The server asks, window or corner table? You don't care. Either table is fine or neither table is fine.
You're accepting the choices, so it's either table is fine.
Yep. Scenario 3. Your coworker whispers, I didn't finish the report. You also didn't finish it. I didn't finish it either. Or neither did I.
Oh, well, technically both are right, but neither did I. Sounds punchy and super advanced.
I agree. Last one. Doing the dishes or taking out the bins. You refuse to do both. Either works or neither thanks.
Definitely neither thanks. Total rejection.
Spot on. Now, I know you have a tone challenge for us.
I do, because these two little words hold so much emotion based entirely on how you say them. Let's take neither do I. Say it in a completely flat tone.
Neither do I.
See, that shuts down the conversation. Now try a surprise tone.
Neither do I.
Completely different vibe. It invites excitement. Now do a warm, empathetic tone.
Neither do I.
It's amazing. Same words, totally different social signaling.
All right, listener. Your big task. Write 3 sentences in the comments right now. Give us 1 negative either, 1 neither do I, and 1 either or choice from your real life.
And please give us messy, real sentences rather than perfect textbook ones.
Yes, real life is messy. Okay, as we bring everything together, let's celebrate your progress and recap the 3 golden rules.
Rule 1. Either in negative sentences means also not and goes at the very end.
Rule 2. Neither goes at the beginning for negative agreement and pairs with nor for rejection.
Rule 3. Either or is for a choice. Neither nor is a total rejection of those choices.
Perfect.
And this raises an important question for everyone listening. Think of a choice someone offered you recently. 2 options.
What?
Based on what you know now, would you say either or neither? Write your answer and explain why in the comments.
I love that provocative thought. Keep mulling that over. And hey, if this deep dive helped you today, give it a big thumbs up. Share it with a friend who keeps using double negatives.
We all know one.
We really do. Leave your practice sentences in the comments and be sure to like and subscribe to Ria Talks English for a new deep dive.
Neither of us gave up when we were learning, and neither should you.
What a great final thought. Thanks for spending your time with us today on Ria Talks English. We'll see you next time.